Hey there, thanks for taking a break out of social media to join us today for Privacy Matters. My name is Tobin. I'm the founder and CEO of USpace, the world's first private social network, and the social network with the most identity protection of any social network ever invented. Right now, we're going to go over the social 1.0 versus the social 2.0 models. Now, the social 1.0 model takes publishing, takes you and your connection and puts publishing in the middle, and just interrupts that direct connection and degrades it. Now, social 2.0 has a direct connection one-to-one. Boom. There's nothing published in the middle. So we're just going to do a quick diagram. It's actually not that quick, but it will illustrate for you exactly how social 1.0 works and how social 2.0 fits into that idea. So bear with me as we start diagramming it all out. So it starts with a big circle that represents Facebook, incorporates all of the entirety of things that happen on a publishing platform. Obviously Instagram and Twitter and other platforms that are publishing, specifically publishing, even WhatsApp to a certain degree, would go along into this large social. This is social 1.0. Oops, I'm writing upside down, so bear with me. All right, so that's everything, and we're going to fill it in a minute. Now, what you have next in here, so that includes bots and includes everything, and then you have this, and then you have 3 rings. So each of these rings describes a different complete whole of like different entities that exist on these platforms. Social 1.0, the publishing platforms, this is all publishing here, incorporate the most entities. So you have here, you have bots, you have creeps, stalkers, you got some mobs over here, you got the propaganda, the Russians and other propagandists, and then you have the people who don't violate the terms of service, so but they create the best like tabloid clickbait, the tabloid writers, and there's just, you know, if a tiny percentage of Facebook users are brilliant at creating this, that's millions of people. So you have millions of tabloid writers here. So in the largest circle, we have kind of an everything, what's out there. And that is all allowed in social media because at the end of the day, it's a newspaper publishing environment, right? So it has photos and then there's of course advertisers. You know, if they aren't allowed in here, then there's no way to make money. So this is like, you have to make money. Facebook has to make money. And in order to do this, they have to have mobs. They have to allow propagandists, robots. They can fight all they want, but they're going to be there because they have the opportunity to connect to anybody. Creeps, obviously Facebook is full of them. Stalkers, you have to put up with all of this because this in order for ads to happen, these things are included. This is what I call acquaintance, you know, acquaintance maintenance. These are just the people that you know that are, you know, socially. This is your acquaintance. And all of that's mixed in to all of this. So this all needs to be permeable. So your acquaintances, these are the human parts. Your human life is all bleeding into this, right? And then right here, you have like your inner circle. Like your family, your friends, your key work people. There's nothing against having 2 or 3 profiles on USpace if you want that, but this is your inner circle. This is really this is the domain of USpace. Now on social media, these primary like inner circle relationships here are bleeding out into this just garbage scow of publishing, and like propaganda is being subjected to your inner circle. Whenever there's a big political explosion, like political debate, like it immediately attacks your inner circle. So even if you don't say anything, like you're losing 3 friends because you didn't say anything. So your inner circle is constantly being bombarded and tested with litmus tests. And then your acquaintances are just kind of like causing confusion all around here, right? And then, creeps are coming up and commenting on your private conversations. Bots are creating like fake events. And those fake events are bombarding your inner circle. Then the acquaintances get involved, and it's just, the entire thing is a mess. And the reason is because this is the basic premise of how Facebook makes money. Because all of this activity, all of this hectic, unmanaged, crazy activity that your personal life has been thrown into, all of that, just the clicking and like and the publishing and the liking and the scrolling and what you watch and what you interact with, all of that is information that's collected by Facebook and other social media platforms. It's called data mining. And when so the more angry you get, the more worked up you get, the more tabloid garbage that you react to, the more genius publishers out there who can create outrage, the more Facebook is making money. And that's because they can then rent that data they're collecting about you back to the advertisers. So all of this interaction, every single one of, if this is an interaction, if this is an interaction, if this is an interaction, if all of it, bots doing fake stuff, this interaction, it all goes back here. So that Mark Zuckerberg can then rent ever more valuable data because he has more information about what it is you're reacting to. And so this creates more and more money down here for Mark Zuckerberg. So it feeds those ads. Now, you can see how this is a problem. And the question is, what's the solution? And the solution that we've come up with at USpace is pretty simple. The problem is really complicated, but the solution is not complicated. The solution is literally just to completely block off your inner circle. No porous walls, no porous barriers. So none of this garbage that's happening all around it, none of this like craziness that's just causing chaos in your most primary precious relationships that people need to be sane and have a good life, these are completely walled off. Nothing gets in. None of it. Period. You have the opportunity, and that allows you to go out here where it's humans only. It's humans only, and it's important humans only, and it allows you to have a trust situation, right? And if you have trust in human relationships, a digital trusted human relationship, you can do great things. It offers you the opportunity to really nurture and shelter and give priority to your inner circle so that you can then grow those relationships instead of having them torn apart by all of these horrible events that are constantly turning into litmus tests. So that's an example. So this right here is the evolution of social. This is social 2.0. Right here. That's it. Is getting rid of media publishing entirely and walling yourself off from it. and walling yourself off from data mining, which isn't Mark Zuckerberg's plan. He has no plan to stop data mining you. He's data mining you right now on WhatsApp. It's his future plan to data mine. There is no possible way that Facebook can be solvent and report quarterly profits without continuing this publishing model. Mark Zuckerberg may say he's pivoting to privacy, but it's literally impossible because his business model will not allow it. So keep that in mind, right? And also keep in mind that Silicon Valley, they're out there. They're on their own tangent. 90% of people in the world don't want to be famous, so we don't need social media. All we need to do is realize that and protect our most important relationships and walk away from social media. Not entirely, use it for acquaintance maintenance. If you want to get on and have some outrage or do your bully pulpit, social and keep track of current events, social media is great, but that's its purpose. It does not work for connecting family and friends. Putting media between you and your most important relationships is a recipe for madness and disaster and a crazy society where people are unhinged, and that's what's happening. We need to centralize and protect our most important relationships. That's what USpace does. That's why I made it. I would not have done this if I didn't feel it was 100% necessary for our society to have a safe place to express ourselves, to develop our personal relationships. That's why USpace was made. And that's why we have no third-party plugins. You can't be touched by bots, creeps, stalkers, mobs, publishers, tabloids, any of it. It's gone. Just gone. We have a completely different business model. And this is entirely free for you to use. So that is Social 2.0. It's the evolution of social networks to privacy. Thanks for joining us for Privacy Matters. Talk to you next time.